you've been offered $1 billion for your YouTube channel?
Well, with all the companies, yeah.
What's your number right now?
It's gonna sound dumb, but like probably like 10 billion, 20 billion.
I think he's right. 10 to 20 billion dollars the right now.
Because I think it might have been for his empire.
Oh my God! For the entire empire.
I don't think he takes a multi-billion-dollar acquisition right now. There's just too much upside in the business right now.
Just for Feastables.
Yeah.
How did he pull it off? Everything. He has over 60 billion views on a planet of 8 billion.
If you want to make everybody happy, don't be a leader, sell ice cream.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes of his.
Like his idol, he didn't get here by being nice. It started with chaos. This is the origin story of Jimmy Donaldson. At age 26, Jimmy is already one of the greatest entrepreneurs to ever live. MrBeast's main channel alone hit over 3 billion views in June. That's a little over 100 million views per day. The Super Bowl gets a little over 100 million views. Total. Jimmy, you uploaded your first video at age 13.
Zombie pigment. Ooh. This may be a challenge.
What happened before that?
To be honest, I've literally never had anyone ask me about anything before 12. Like my life basically started when I made my first video. Everything before that it's kind of like a blur in my head because it's almost like irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's completely normal to blur out your entire childhood when there's chaos. This is the only mention of MrBeast's father in all his videos.
This next voicemail is from my dad. It's 2 years old and I've never opened it, so.
It's your dad. Just want to call and congratulate you on getting most improved player last night. And I want to see how you did in the game. So give me a call when you get out of the shower or wherever you're at.
Just how bad was it?
It literally doesn't get any worse than I was. Like I really didn't have any friends. Like I said, tons of pimples, no money, no like dad. It was just like my mom who was working all the time. Like it's a miracle I'm here.
First part, true. It is a miracle.
Here's the second part. I'm your dad.
Oh. Interesting.
No, second part, he does have a dad. It's not Jay Leno. Why did Jimmy call this the proudest day of his life?
So you saw me carrying this, and so I wanted to give you money to put towards your house or something. Don't you owe a lot of money on your house? Yes. So I wanted to give you a check to help you pay for it.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe paying off his mom's mortgage was much, 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 much more than financial freedom.
So, by profession, I'm a retired lieutenant colonel who spent 21 years on active duty in the Army. For 20 of those years, I was emotionally, sexually, and physically abused by my abusive husband, who ironically was also a Army officer.
This is his mom's book. It's a survival story. It's graphic, it's tragic. If true, Jimmy's father should be in prison. And she described those years the same way Jimmy did.
It's literally when I dig deep back, it's just like all a blur.
And she kept it a secret. But the children witnessed more and more. Sue stopped talking to people because if they found out, that would be crazy. That would be straight up suicide. I'll say game over. And Jimmy?
I believe your baseball coach was like, I don't think I heard Jimmy say like more than 2 sentences at any point.
Yeah, people thought I was mute. We didn't have the best upbringing. Like my parents were in the military and I was just raised with my mom who was always working because we didn't have tons of money. So like most of my life, I was just kind of home alone.
Jimmy, now the most viewed entertainer, wasn't talking at all. His mother starts having all sorts of medical problems and then his sister is diagnosed with leukemia. This is a nightmare. It couldn't go on. I realized my 2 boys could become abusers themselves. After all, they had been witnessing my abuser's cruelty for years. After Jimmy's father tried to end his mother's life, they finally escaped. But they couldn't escape the mountain of debt he left behind. Tom wiped out their life savings. During the height of the financial crisis, Sue files for bankruptcy twice. So instead of giving up, Sue worked with the courts, worked multiple jobs through all of this to keep her home and 3 children safe and alive, literally. That same home, that same mortgage was later paid off by Jimmy. But how did Jimmy pull it all off? With no money, medical bills piling up, no dad, Jimmy stumbles on a possible escape.
I have a memory of this one video I watched back then where one of my favorite creators, Woody's Gamertag, quit his job and went full time on YouTube. And this was like before, like a lot of people didn't even know you could make money on YouTube back then. I remember seeing that. I was like 12 and it kind of just clicked in my head. I was like, wait a minute, you can make money doing this.
Jimmy takes a crappy laptop and secretly begins to make gaming videos for 2 years. It didn't go smoothly.
You're probably thinking you've been doing YouTube for 2 years, and if you've only come out to 100 plus videos, a little over 100 videos,
And I've actually uploaded like over 300 videos to this channel, but a lot of my older videos sucked, and it was mostly because it was with a poor mic, which I'm going to talk about later in this video, and I just deleted them because the quality of them sucked.
It seems like a waste of time, but this is now the advice of the world's greatest YouTuber.
I would say just fail. Like, just a lot of people get analysis paralysis, and they'll just sit there, and all you need to do, this applies to people who have not uploaded videos but have dreams of being a YouTuber, is make 100 videos and improve something every time.
And about 2 years in, money starts trickling in.
It took me 75,000 views to make my first $100 off of YouTube.
About $1 a day. This is a rags to riches story. He slowly inches his way up to 1,000 subscribers.
Look at it. Isn't it beautiful?
Jimmy still wanted to play pro baseball, but tragedy strikes yet again.
I guess I'll start off by telling you my story with Crohn's. I got it in 9th grade, and I was going to the bathroom like 7 times a day. I had unbelievable pain every time, threw up like every other day, and I lost 30 pounds, spent an entire summer laying in my bed. Tons of fatigue, bunch of problems, yada, yada, yada. Give me your sympathy.
Yada, yada, yada. It was worse than a 15-year-old would describe.
Jimmy's diagnosis of Crohn's was earth-shattering. He didn't have an ability to hold down any food. It was months and months and months for us to figure out a treatment plan so that he could start eating again.
I literally just shrank down to like skin and bones. Yeah, baseball just kind of went out the window then.
This is also where he gives up on YouTube, briefly.
And I just wasn't having fun, and I just quit.
But on April 1st, 2015, at age 16, without dreams of baseball, he commits.
Because, I was thinking, I don't want to be in the future, like 10 years from now. And I don't want to wonder, how big could my YouTube channel have gotten? So I'm going to try to commit myself to making a video every other day for the next 3 months and just see where my YouTube channel goes. And if I'm happy where it gets at the end of that time period, then I'll keep uploading. If not, I'll probably quit.
Just a few weeks later, after going all in, he surpasses 2,000 subscribers and casually manifests his future at the end of a video.
10 years from now, I will be famous on YouTube, and you're gonna think to yourself, I remember watching this guy back before he had 3,000 subscribers. Man, did this guy's content suck back then.
And it's off to the races. He starts uploading twice a day, but he's headed in the wrong direction.
It's not original, and it's really hard to become known on YouTube doing video game commentaries. It's too generic. It's not unique at all. You can't get anywhere doing this in 2015.
He also notices something else.
But one thing I noticed is my PewDiePie, how much PewDiePie makes 2014 video, that has almost 50,000 views, which is pretty crazy because I believe like a week ago, had like 45,000 or something like that.
He realizes potential in videos that aren't all about gaming. So why game when you can just YouTube? He begins to experiment.
Do it!
Do what?
Just do it!
Do what?
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
I got it. I should make a video about not knowing what to make a video about.
Do it!
By the end of the summer, he's 17 with 7,000 subscribers, surpassing 500,000 views per month. The kid people thought was mute speaks. Oh, he speaks YouTube real well. But then the worst tragedy of his life strikes.
She was just like, Jimmy, do you make YouTube videos? And I was just like, yeah. And one of the first things she noticed is that I've been doing this for over 3 years. And she was like, why didn't you tell me you've been doing this? Because it is kind of weird that I've been sitting in my room for 3 years making YouTube videos, and she's just now figuring out that that's what I've been doing.
Mom, what did you think he was doing in his room all day for 3 years?
I'd be walking past his room and he'd just be talking to people on the computer.
But am I the only one that's noticed every other song on the radio is Taylor Swift?
I thought it was the people he was gaming with. I thought it was baseball friends. I thought it was people from high school. Never, ever did I connect that he was actually doing YouTube videos.
Jump forward a year, safe in his room, he turns 18 and does something only an 18-year-old could possibly think of.
This is a table. I'm gonna take these plastic knives. I'm gonna cut right here. And I'm gonna cut all the way through it. So yeah, I just cut this table in half using a plastic knife. Sorry if I sound out of breath.
That's all it takes to hit 50,000 subs? Oh, okay. I'll show you chaos.
So 2 gallons of gas, 4 pounds of tannerite, with the tablet on top of it.
Well, this is it, boys.
Honestly, I can't, I don't understand. Okay, 3 weeks ago, I was at 50,000 subscribers. Now I'm almost at, I literally doubled in size in 3 weeks. I don't get it. Like,
But summer's almost over and Mama's got
You
plans.
just say, okay, you go to college. I just thought you do that was what you're supposed to do. You drop out of college, you gotta leave my house.
See, Jimmy never thought highly of school.
school is a waste of time.
And reality sinks in.
Things like clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 18. I'm only making like $200 a month. It's like, this is it. And I'm going like 15 hours every day. And I went to like college for like 2 weeks. I'm like, why? Like, why am I here? Like, what is this? I hate this with it. And I just got up and left. I just didn't go.
So finally he was just tired of tap dancing. He goes, yeah, I dropped out, haven't back. I'm like, okay, then you have to leave my house. It was so sad. I tell you.
The desperation leads the college dropout to turn up the volume on the shenanigans to full volume, full chaos.
This is a $1,000 keyboard.
And as his classmates ready for their second semester, Jimmy has a breakthrough.
I'm about to count to 100,000.
He proceeds to count for 40 hours in a viral video that sweeps the entire nation. It was on the news because why? All Jimmy hears is pain equals views.
I'm bleeding.
Well, Logan Paul, 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 Logan Paul.
More importantly, his real education begins.
Most of my growth came actually after I graduated high school. Basically what I did was I somehow found these other like 4 lunatics. We were all super small YouTubers, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. We would just get on Skype every morning, and like some days like I'd get on Skype at 7 a.m. and I'd be in the call until like 10 p.m. and then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up and I'd do it again.
They were studying the algorithm. It's more powerful than any MBA degree because, well, what is the algorithm?
Essentially, by studying the algorithm, you'll learn that you're more studying human psychology, right? What do humans want to watch? Anytime you say the word algorithm, just replace it with audience, and it works perfectly. Like, the algorithm didn't like that video? No, the audience didn't like that video. Literally, that's it. If people are clicking and watching, then it gets promoted more. And that's literally all the algorithm does, is reflect what the people want. To a T.
It's what the people want, and businesses pay for that. He quickly lands his first sponsorship deal and blows it.
And I'm like, no, I want $10,000. And he's like, 5,000. I'm like, no, I want 10,000. I just want to walk out my front door and go give it to a homeless person. And he's like, really? 10. So if you want to take it, it's about $10,000. I'm not joking. You're right.
This concept of charity for views, aka charity pon, would later be at the center of his controversy.
But I've always thought, if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. You gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave.
Those are ex-MrBeast employees who are gaining millions of views for saying MrBeast only does charity for views. But when you see a thumbnail like that, what do you have to do?
That's just something you have to click. Like, so you were saying, like, how would you describe a good thumbnail? Like that, you know what I mean? Like
thumbnail 101, something you gotta click.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right.
I'm just thinking about
And when you do, the reactions are emotional, visceral. You feel them, like the pizza guy who came back to thank him.
So I was here earlier.
Yeah?
I just I wanted to thank you a lot. Let me explain a little. I work a lot. This week I'm actually scheduled about 90 hours. I have a wife, I have 2 little girls, I have a third on the way. And so, like, you gave me money, but what money meant, like, to me is I actually got to ask someone to take the rest of my shift. I was supposed to be there till 1 a.m.
But now be like shocked, like have your hands over your face, like you're emotional as you can be. So like have your hand reaching for it and then like be like shocked, like you're, yeah.
And yes, he exploits them. This was the same business model that paid off his mom's house just 1 year after she kicked his behind out.
But if I don't give it to you, I don't have a viral video.
So you're using me for views?
Yes, but you get money too, so we're both happy.
So you use me for views and I get to pay off my mortgage?
Mm-hmm. I think it works out pretty well.
What an entrepreneur.
The deal's transparent. It's beautiful and exploitative at the same time. Did you see MrBeast's 2019 Super Bowl stunt? Even Casey Neistat, a fellow YouTuber, one of the greats, was so confused by MrBeast's true intentions, he had to ask. And you can tell he's thinking, kid, you're gonna get canceled.
Literally just tweeted.
Like an idea like that is expensive and difficult to realize. Do you do that because you know it's going to be great content, or do you do that out of like a blind love and loyalty to Felix?
No, obviously great content. Like if I was doing things out of blind, well, it's hard because I want to help PewDiePie. So the video has to go viral though to help him. Can you see what I'm saying?
Have you f***ed up yet on YouTube?
No, I haven't. I feel like at some point I'm gonna like slip up, do something on accident, and then like people are gonna turn on me.
So
but
you haven't had to make an apology video?
No,
yet.
not yet. I mean,
that's incredible.
And MrBeast knew he'd eventually get into trouble. By the way, Super Bowl's end, that Super Bowl stunt is now up to 44 million views and still growing as his success. MrBeast's success just keeps compounding. Problem is, he also needs to compound the chaos in each video. Each must outdo the last, which is why MrBeast strategically gambles all his money into the next video.
I think in 10 years, YouTube's going to be ginormous, and I just want to be the biggest YouTuber in the world in 10 years.
Like, you're not a degenerate like myself.
When it comes to gambling, yes, but...
Which, by the way, that surprised me. You're very smart with your money.
The guy who just throws away millions of dollars on YouTube videos is a gambler. Who would have thought?
Or maybe he's just a degenerate gambler. Point is, he goes all in every hand, and it paid off so far. The problem is the fear factor effect.
What was it about it that it was just too much, repetitive?
It was the same thing over and over again. We did 148 episodes. After a while, it's just like, Jesus Christ, how many animal can you serve people? What it was the show had to get more and more extreme, and it was very dangerous. Like, it was freaking me out. Like, one of them, we had these people chained to a tree with bungee cords that were attached to a helicopter, okay?
Wow.
And they had to figure out the right locks to unlock the bungee cord, or the straps that keep them to the tree. And then as soon as they do, they undo the strap and they go shooting out into space, into the center of this gigantic canyon, and they're bouncing underneath this helicopter. Wow. And I remember thinking, like, this doesn't... If we could do this 1,000 times, one of them, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
And then we got canceled because we served people jizz.
Was that the final straw?
Yeah. They had to drink donkey cum.
And that was too much.
That was it.
For a reality game show to survive, you must compound chaos with equal parts safety and creativity. You can't just keep feeding people nasty things. You'll end up with Joe Rogan feeding people donkey juice. You need new, creative, good ideas. Why?
Do you have like an idea that you come up with while you're driving your car or something? Like,
so that's where it gets interesting. The idea is so freaking important. Like, you could, theoretically, most YouTubers watching this, you could pull triple the views with half the work if you just have better ideas. Like, no joke, it's that extreme. Or actually, a better example would be 1 million views and 30 million views. The video with 30 million views usually didn't put in 30 times the effort. Like, they might have put in 2 or 3 times the effort and just had a way better idea. So I used to just spend an hour every day brainstorming ideas. I don't anymore. But like probably like 4 years that just every day I just spend an hour.
You tip pizza guys $10,000? How about tipping the pizza guy the whole house? Compound the chaos with creativity. Jimmy amassed $4 million in cash and completely blew it on recreating Squid Game, giving 456 people the chance to win $456,000 in real life. It was epic. Now, spoiler alert, the original Squid Game presented an untypical villain. He was a sweet old man, he was cute, and he was dying. He entered the competition as a contestant because he believed that real wealth could only be achieved through struggle and competition. Songji, the main character, was a degenerate gambler. He'd blow all the money if he had it. He had to struggle to earn it, to value life. You want to help people, but they need to struggle to get the views to be able to help them. See what I'm saying?
I like PewDiePie, but like I need a good video so PewDiePie gets the most promotion. You see what I'm saying?
What I'm trying to say is MrBeast is an evil Korean man, and the evil, ultra-wealthy Koreans paying to view this chaos, that's us, collectively. We viewed that video 650 million times. That's a lot of ads. MrBeast now has multiple Hollywood-style studios, giant warehouses, hundreds of employees, hundreds of cameras, and it's all live. You've got one take, one shot. How did he pull it off? Everything. He has over 60 billion views on a planet of 8 billion.
This is my bathroom. I shower every morning.
This is where you live?
Yeah.
Full time?
I mean, sometimes, you know, when my girlfriend's in town, I'll go to a house, but it's much easier to stay here because then I don't have to drive a lot.
If you want to make everybody happy, don't be a leader, sell ice cream.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes of his.
Like his idol? he didn't get here by being nice. This is his employee handbook. I'd rather you be honest with each other than nice to each other. Work with intensity. Pull all-nighters. No does not mean no. That literally doesn't mean shit. Don't stop until all conceivable options are exhausted. Now, this is literally cited in the Beast Games lawsuit. It's okay for boys to be childish. If talent wants to draw a male dong-dong on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. Really, do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. Jimmy, lost soul, friend, you can't tell 18-year-old female interns this. Are you out of your f***ing mind? But the document does one thing very well, and his disgruntled ex-employee mentioned it.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal, and I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do.
It laser focuses everyone on one goal, his goal, to make the best YouTube videos possible. He focuses everyone on key metrics, just a few. He narrows it down. It's all about watch time. And he makes it clear how hard people will need to work to pull off these fear factor stunts on a beer budget. We are not Hollywood. It's impressive what he's pulled off, but even Fear Factor on a Hollywood budget became too dangerous.
Those shows, what happens is you get used to one thing, and so you have to do something that's bigger and better the next year.
Yeah.
And so when we came back, I felt uncomfortable with a lot of the shit. They know how to do it. Like these stunt guys are top of the food chain. But they were doing some sketchy shit.
Wait, these are actually sharp.
Too bad. The walls are closing in.
So he warns, I only want A players who are the best in the goddamn world at their job. C players are poisonous and should be transitioned to a different company immediately. It's okay, we give everyone severance. They'll be fine. That doesn't seem like our sweet Jimmy on YouTube. Seems more like Stevie Jobs.
I've built a lot of my success off finding these truly gifted people and not settling for B and C players, but really going for the A players. And that's what the Mac team was like. They were all A players.
The work was intense. The commitment needed to do it was intense. I lost my wife in that process. I lost my children in that process. I lost the whole structure of my life was just changed forever by going and working on the Mac.
But there are also people who now say that they don't have the energy anymore to work for you.
Sure.
Many great founders say essentially the same thing. Here's NVIDIA's founder.
You have to suffer, you have to struggle, you have to endeavor, you have to do those hard things and work through it in order to really appreciate what you've done. And there are no such thing that are great that was easy to do. And so by definition, I would say, therefore, I wish upon you greatness, which by my way of saying it, I wish upon you plenty of pain and suffering. And so
they justify it. The business world is cruel, and to compete, just to survive, or to be great, people must struggle. Launching Feastables would be no different. Why chocolate?
Right, chocolate is popular like globally. You know, we now dub in I think 16 different languages, including Japanese and French and Hindi. Those are all markets for us that we're pushing into. I don't think he takes a multi-billion-dollar acquisition right now. There's just too much upside in the business right now.
Just for Feastables.
Yeah, you'd actually be surprised. Chocolate actually it's a pretty good margin business for us. And I mean, Hershey is still, you know, they probably churn off $600 to $800 million in profit every single year and have been doing this for 50 plus years. And so,
but why is cheap chocolate so cheap?
More than 60% of cocoa comes from just two West African countries, Ivory Coast and Ghana. And researchers have found that in those places, between 73 and 90% of cocoa farmers do not earn a living income. An estimated 1.5 million children work in cocoa production in Ghana and Ivory Coast, many of whom are engaged in dangerous tasks. Or as the Washington Post investigation concluded, the odds are substantial that a chocolate bar bought in the United States is the product of child labor.
Feastables originally launched a slave-free chocolate, but in order to expand and compete with Hershey, they had to source from West Africa and remove their slave-free branding, which suggests what?
It's likely then that MrBeast is now using child labor and forced labor for Feastables chocolates.
But what if MrBeast takes all that money from people struggling in West Africa to make not slave-free chocolate and gives it to people in Uganda?
Together with Give Directly, we have been able to change the lives of thousands of people in this village.
Just how much are you willing to make people suffer making not slave-free chocolate to help more people, to get more views? Jimmy makes it clear any money spent should be on camera because it is all about views. In 2019, he gets over 100 million views, planting 20 million trees. That's a win-win. He follows it up with Team C's cleaning up the ocean, more views.
And for every $1 you guys donate like this, one less pound of trash will be in the ocean.
But then he gets a new sponsor.
This is why we all brought a Circle water bottle, because you can put a flavor cartridge in it and make water taste good.
Problem is, Circle uses giant disposable flavoring cartridges made of number 5 plastic. Number 5 plastic is basically trash. More than 98% is either trashed or ends up in the ocean. People say, wait a minute.
But guys, like, people out here, they trust you. And normally I would say, hey, it's not fair. They never asked to be role models. But in this case, you kind of did. You let a bunch of kids to go out, hashtag Team C's, to go and clean up the oceans. And now you basically got in bed with a company where you're leading the same exact kids to go throw the plastics right back in. And that kind of sucks.
See this hospital?
This hospital looked like this.
Random
But
crap.
in the real shot, there's no moss,
Yeah.
there's no decrepit.
Right here, you'll notice this pillar, 2 white lines. Right here, same pillar, 2 white lines. But there's a building behind it. So in this opening shot, where MrBeast says, this is what the hospital looked like a month ago, they digitally removed the entire hospital to make it look like they built the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Tricking people for views is fun, movie magic, but tricking people into thinking you built a hospital for charity, that could be charity fraud. And who was this? Rosanna is a famous YouTuber who says MrBeast betrayed her for views.
They lost me. Like, I got locked in a freezer. So I got in there and it locked on me and I couldn't get out of the freezer. And I had to like jam it, and I finally got out of there. And then when I found them, they were on to another challenge, and they're like, we were wondering where you were. And they edited me out somewhere in the middle when really I was top 3.
Wait,
and
what?
then in the
How?
edit, they have like, okay, top 3 is Larry and Logan Paul and Zach King. They weren't top 3. I beat Logan Paul.
What?
Oh, MrBeast messed with the wrong, strong little woman. After she came forward, she received hundreds of messages from alleged employees and contestants accusing MrBeast of bad stuff. As Rosanna starts releasing videos, MrBeast became the most subscribed YouTuber and films the Amazon show Beast Games.
Beast Games is being shot under a cloud of controversy. Marketed Beast Games as the biggest reality competition series ever, with 1,000 contestants competing for a $5 million cash prize, the biggest single prize in the history of television and streaming.
This scale is massive. Like, normally reality TV in the US, the participant count taps out at about 24. So Netflix was pushing it when they did 456, and now we're talking about 1,000. The logistics of managing all of that, I don't know if there's anyone who works in television who really knows how to do it.
The class action lawsuit claiming the Amazon Prime show exploited the labor of the contestants, alleging sexual harassment and a hostile work environment.
One girl in our group, she did need her epilepsy medication and she did not get it. And I witnessed a male just collapse right in front of me and he was convulsing.
I heard people got trampled.
During that first game, I got trampled. Every line had a group of people at the back that were just getting trampled, and I watched a woman get knocked out cold.
Several contestants were hospitalized during the Beast Games promo shoot, according to NBC's Las Vegas affiliate KSNB. In a statement to NBC News, a spokesperson for MrBeast said that the promo shoot involving over 2,000 participants was, quote, unfortunately complicated by a global technology outage, extreme weather, and other unexpected logistical and communications issues, which we are currently reviewing. Court documents, including a copy of a manual titled How to Succeed in MrBeast Production, that states, really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming. Help them be idiots.
I will say, stunts this big, pulling all this off, requires massive programs in place to ensure ethical behavior and safety. That is the job of a chief compliance officer. The MrBeast chief compliance officer is, or was, Sue Perisher, his mother. That's right. The woman who feared her son would later turn into an abuser was responsible for ensuring MrBeast, the company, would not abuse people. Now, none of these allegations have been proven, but they have piled up quite high. And what does Jimmy do after it all piles up just a little too high? He decides it's a good time to launch a kids' lunch with Logan Paul. Mind you, he's currently accused of hiring offenders of children. But the backlash was around nutritional health of children.
However, it's been known, especially by experts, that while these kits are fun and tasty, their nutritional value is just not good.
Does nobody care about the not slave-free chocolate? That's the worst thing out of all of this. The thing about the old man from Squid Game, he ended 455 lives just to teach one man that the world is cruel and the only way to succeed in business or life is through struggle and competition. What the kind of lesson or teacher is that? There's no moral question here. At some point, going too far to do something good makes you evil. The question is, has Jimmy gone too far? Will this end him, or is this just what it takes to become and stay number one?